Welcome back to Bowling Over 50. I am Alan Berger. This is our live version that we're trying to do every Wednesday at around 6 o'clock. Again, going to try to do it every Wednesday. Some Wednesdays I may not be able to do it because I do have other things to do, businesses to run and things like that. And when we get into the high school season, I'm going to be at the bowling center quite a lot and may not be able to do these lives. The chat is open for you to ask me any questions you want to ask me. We can discuss anything you want to discuss. I've got a list of things that are on topic for me, but this forum is for you to ask questions, make comments, whatever you want to do. So send me a chat and I'll try to answer them here live. We'll try to go for 45 minutes to an hour. I tend to go a little over because we get more chats at the end than we do at the beginning. Been an interesting week since I last went live with you guys. So we'll talk about that. I mentioned multiple times on the live and a couple of times in videos that I've been having some shoulder problems, and it has nothing to do with bowling. I've had some people actually watch me bowl and watch what I'm doing, and they don't think I hurt my shoulder bowling. Actually, I know I didn't hurt my shoulder bowling, and it doesn't hurt to bowl. But I've been going through some things and had another procedure this week, actually yesterday. Had an epidural that they started in the middle of my back, and then they fished a line up through my vertebrae up into my neck because I've got some pinched nerves that are going down my right arm. Just getting older. I'm in my 50s. That's what bowling over 50 is about, and some things start to fall apart on you. Doesn't help that I'm a little overweight as well, which I need to get back on that. That's the whole reason why I hurt my shoulder. Was I was trying to lose some weight and using some arm weights to try to do something else while I was walking. And I did learn, which I think is important, that when you're doing exercise, that you've got to work both sides. Like, for instance, your legs. If you're doing squats, you've got to do something to work on your hamstrings because your muscles can't get out of balance. And I should have known this. My son was a kinesiology major, and he's been telling this to me for a while. So I think my injury came from doing shoulder movements without working on my back. And so that's what ended up hurting my shoulder. Got a little tear in it. And so I've been going to physical therapy. Had a shot in my shoulder. I've had a shot basically in my spine. Feeling pretty good. But anyway, I had this procedure yesterday. Wasn't allowed to drive myself for 24 hours, which means I couldn't drive through this morning. And my wife was wanting me to stay at home, but I was feeling pretty good. And we have a sport shot tournament at one of the centers every Monday and Tuesday. And I didn't want to do anything Monday because I wanted to rest up because I had to be at the surgery center pretty early. But Tuesday night after my procedure, they had cheetah laid out for the pattern, and I love cheetah. And so my daughter had to drive me to the bowling center, but I bowled after having this neck procedure, which didn't make my wife very happy, but ended up coming in second. And it was actually quite funny because I've bowled on cheetah many times and never had a ton of success with it because of the volume. So it's 35. The 2025 cheetah is 35 feet long. About 1.6 to 1, so basically flat, and a lot of volume. I think it's 36, 37 milliliters of volume, and a typical house pattern is going to have 26 or 27 milliliters in 43 feet. Cheetah has 36 milliliters on 35 feet, which makes it really challenging, really flat, and a lot of fun to bowl on. And so I made it a point yesterday that I only took one 3-ball tote to the lanes. Didn't take any big equipment. I took a purple hammer, which I'm still allowed to throw, and I took the black pearl hammer and a spare ball. That's all I took. And I was going to live or die with those 3 bowling balls. Threw the same bowling ball for qualifying, 4 games of qualifying. Threw the same ball in the step ladder. We had 1 bowls for the first place person after qualifying bowls the 4th place person. 2nd place bowler bowls the 3rd place bowler. And then the 2 winners of those matches bowl each other for the championship. And as usual, which is common for me, because it's a handicap tournament, I, in qualifying, placed 4th. And so I ended up having to bowl the first place bowler. I told you last week I ended up winning this tournament on a 39, 40 foot pattern, but it was pretty staggered and had definitely some hook to the outside, and I threw urethane on that and ended up winning that, led qualifying, and won my 2 matches to win that tournament. This one is urethane as well. That's what I wanted to throw. I put 500 on both my purple and my black one, although if you've tried to put surface on a black pearl hammer, you have found out that 78U is it's hard to cut the cover. It's just hard. It takes a little effort. And so I surfaced them all up, and I was going to live or die with urethane. And I'm really good with urethane. I don't have a lot of hand, don't have a whole lot of rev rate, but I can play the gutter, and that's what you've got to do with cheetah. If you're throwing big equipment, you've got to throw at the gutter. If you're using urethane, you can throw up the gutter, which is something I love to do, and it's a kind of a lost art. And I was started in and around the 4 board, finished on the 2 board, and I bowled okay. 190 first game, 180, 182. Well, I can look it up. Don't get sponsored by this group, but I use PenPal. Been using that for a while to track my scores. Oh, I went 180, 188, 181, 178, 213 to get me in 4th place. Scores were pretty low because most people don't like to throw at the gutter, and most people weren't using urethane and able to go up the gutter, so they're having to throw at the gutter with big equipment, and so scores were pretty low. The back ends were flying, and it was tough. What got tough, which was unusual about cheetah, is when you've got people that are throwing big equipment at the gutter, you end up getting some hook later in games, which makes my urethane look pretty darn, it gets easier and easier and easier for me. That didn't happen this time. For whatever reason, it got harder. It stopped hooking at I guess I was starting around 6, straight up 6, and the first couple of games, and I had to move right, but it really stopped hooking, and which was fairly unusual. I think the volume I'm not sure what was going on, but the ball just stopped hooking, so I had to get closer and closer to the gutter, plus I had to kind of point it a little bit for a game or two, which is not my strong suit. I don't like angling towards the head pin, but what I was getting with that is if I missed right, I was getting a little extra hook, and if I missed left, I was going Brooklyn and striking. So, you take your Brooklyn strikes if you have to. So when I point towards the head pin, meaning my slide foot is right of the target that I'm going, so I'm going more at the pins, I tend to miss right. And so I was getting a few Brooklyn strikes that kept me in it. And then we get into the not stepladder. I guess we'll call it a stepladder. So I'm having to bowl the guy that led the tournament. He led the tournament by like 100 pins. And, yeah, he whooped me by 120, 130 pins. And I knew I was in trouble, because I probably should have went to a bigger ball up the gutter, something that was big, symmetrical, had some surface on it, but I didn't bring it. I was going to live or die with urethane, and struggled. Shot 178. But the person I was bowling was also struggling, and he was throwing urethane, and he couldn't get the thing to hook in the right spot on the pair of lanes that we were on. He shoots 168, I shoot 178, and so I go to the finals with one of my old high school kids that I coached. Well, the kid I was bowling in the semifinals was also one of my kids from high school. He's a good bowler, really good bowler. Actually made the cut at the last regional here in Lubbock. And so, real proud of him. I thought I was in trouble, but he was having trouble picking up his spares because it's cheetah. And cheetah, the back end's hook, and you got 15 feet of hook. Well, 25 feet of hook, actually. And so he was having trouble getting the 10 pins. With urethane, you're going to leave some 10 pins. He was having trouble getting the 10 pin. Started throwing backup ball. One time it wouldn't hook. The next time it hooked too much and went in the gutter. So he missed a few 10 pins. And I missed a few spares myself, but I was not leaving myself easy stuff. So anyway, won that match, went to the finals, and the kid that was bowling in the finals had actually placed second, won his match against another PBA professional, who's a senior as well, who was throwing it kind of up the ditch with a bigger ball, and beat him fairly easily. And I knew I was in trouble. I mean, he started with the front four, then he spared. I started with the front four, I struck, spared, through the next four, and so we kind of got it even. Problem was he had 14 pins of handicap and on me, and so I ended up beating him scratch, shot 222. He shoots 221, but with 14 pins of handicap, I lose. And so I placed second last night and only threw the purple hammer all night long. My daughter, everybody was like, when are you going to go to reactive? And I'm like, I'm living or dying with urethane. Plus, I hadn't thrown it. So I didn't know where to throw it, and that's a bad place to try to get out of it, is when you're in a one-game match and really no warm-up on that pair. You just got to bowl, and so just tried to make it work and did okay. Shot 222, which was my highest game of the night. So I had a good time with that. After having a medical procedure that afternoon, my daughter was watching me, and she had to wait around to the end to take me home because I wasn't allowed to drive. So that was fun. Had a good time doing that. We had a video come out on Monday, and this will be the only video of the week that is coming out. And it's got some, we're going to talk about this. The video that came out is Velocity of the Bowling Ball. I think the actual title of it is Bowling Ball Power. And it's really a video about changing speeds. Learning how to throw the ball faster, learning how to throw the ball slower. Here's what's interesting. And I am wondering if Brad and Kyle have access to my back end where they can see my videos, because they produced a video this week as well that is on movements in and around the lanes, and a left move, a right move, a forward move, a back move, which is not exactly what this video was about that I produced, but fairly similar. They talk about the same things. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too right now. So in this video, when you watch it, you're going to see some things that seem counterintuitive. And we've got a kind of an argument between a couple of bowlers in the chat right now that are going at it about this specific point. So when I first started bowling and started getting into bowling and bowling as a kid and being taught by my mother and my father, who are both very, very good bowlers, and changing speeds was still a thing back in the 80s and 70s and 80s when I started bowling. And I was kind of in my process, if I wanted to make the ball go faster, I would hold the ball up a little higher in my stance and try to get a little bit higher backswing and really try to make the ball move with my arm. Then as I got older and started getting into coaching, took my first bronze level USBC class, and Susie Minshew, who is a gold level coach, was teaching this class, and we were talking about changing ball speeds. And she gave what is in this video is basically what came out of that conversation, which is if you want to slow the ball down, moving up on the approach, which makes sense. But she said and told us to hold the ball higher. Well, that's counterintuitive. If I hold the ball higher, my backswing is going to be higher, and it's going to make the ball go faster. Wouldn't that make sense? And this is what the argument is over. We've got one guy saying to make the ball go faster is to raise it up in your backswing and throw the ball harder. But what ends up happening is, and we'll kind of go through the physics a little bit. I mean, I'm not perfect with my physics on this, but let's talk about it. By moving up on the approach, you've shortened the distance between where you're starting and where you're going to be rolling the ball from. And which means your steps have to be smaller, and which doesn't give you as much momentum with your feet. But putting the ball higher in your approach, in your stance, will actually make your swing faster. Because your swing is faster, your feet have to slow down enough that when you release the ball, that your timing slide, and the ball are coming to the place at the exact same time. So by holding it higher, you're making your swing faster, which means your feet have to slow down more to make sure it's in time with your swing arc. So there's two factors that give you momentum or velocity. There's foot speed, which is a very small part, and your arm and gravity. But gravity is a constant. Gravity doesn't change. So if you swing it forward and back, your swing timing is maybe a touch faster, but really gravity is a constant, so that motion is the same. So the only thing that changes at that point is your foot speed. So how high or your backswing is doesn't really affect the ball speed as much as your feet and being not as fast and slower. So it is counterintuitive. It doesn't make any sense. And I argued with Susie about this for a good little bit until we took it out on the lanes, and I tried it. And I went, she's right. And I've read more and I've watched more videos about this, and people talk about it all the time. It may sound counterintuitive, but it's not. It's your feet have to slow down to make up for the difference in your swing being faster, and because your feet are slower, the ball rolls slower. Um, Conversely, to make the ball go faster, you move back on the approach to give you more distance that you have to cover before you release the ball. And you lower the ball in your stance to make the swing shorter, which means your feet have to go faster to match up with your arm speed. Well, again, I argued with Susie about this, and I still have trouble with this particular subject, because when I move up on the approach, the first thing I want to do is move the ball down. And I still do that, even though I know better. But by moving up on the approach is enough to slow my ball down enough where I can get the hook where I want the hook to be. It is a great video. You need to go watch it. It's, again, there's so many bowlers over 50 and new bowlers wanting to know how to change the speed and actually get more speed, to try to get more power going through the pins. But I caution you, and we talk about this in the video, that your ball speed can't supersede the revolutions you're putting on the ball. What does that mean? I don't do a really good job of explaining that in the video, so I'll explain it here. When you roll the ball, if you do not have enough revs and you're rolling it too fast, your ball will, once it gets to the dry, will have to slow down to match up to the revs, and then the revs will take over and then make the ball hook. So if you don't have a lot of revs and you throw the ball really hard, the ball doesn't have enough time to slow down for it to match up with your revs and then actually start to hook. You'll see that in the video, is when I do speed it up, the ball doesn't hook as much. Well, it doesn't hook as much because I don't have enough revs to match up with the ball speed. So you've got to keep that in mind, that you don't want to increase your ball speed so much that your ball never hooks. The ball cannot hook until it slows down. And if you don't have enough revs to those two things to match up, then your ball won't hook. Always remember that. The only way for your ball to hook is it's got to slow down. So if you have more revs and you throw the ball harder, like these big two-handers can do, then your revs have not superseded the momentum of the ball, the velocity of the ball, and the ball will hook in the right spot if your revs are more than the speed. Meaning, if you were just to roll the ball down there at the same speed, the revolutions on the ball and the speed of the ball are going the exact same. Well, here it's in the oil, so hopefully your revs are more than what the velocity is. So when it does get to the end of the pattern and it finds some friction, that it can start to hook. If you throw it really hard and you don't have a lot of revs, the ball will have to slow down enough to be able to match that up so it can grip the lane and actually hook. And my daughter is in the chat. What's up, chat? Hey, babe. We'll see if we get anybody chatting with us today. Again, chat is open. Love to answer your questions. Talk about anything you want to talk about. So the chat is open. So that's that video. It came out on Monday. It's going to be our only video of the week. It's actually getting some really good traction. I appreciate everybody who's watching that. It seems like we've got a lot of people that are learning about how to change speeds, because you can't be a one-trick pony. Throwing the ball the same speed and the same with the same rotation, the same hand position, you're only going to be able to do one thing. And so one of the things we'll be talking about as we go on with this channel is how to become more versatile, how to be able to create side rotation, how to get up the back and get the ball to tumble, and move forward instead of sideways. We're going to talk about changing speeds. We're going to talk about moving left or right. One of the things you will never find in bowling is you'll never be able to stand in the same spot and throw at the same spot for 3 games. It does not exist. I bowl in and around with a guy that doesn't change his release any, doesn't change his side rotation any. It looks the same every time he throws the ball. And his move is not left or right. His move is faster or slower. It sometimes works for him, and he carries an over a 200 average, but he'll have some nights where the lanes are getting drier. He's playing in the track area, and he just starts to increase his ball speed, and he starts leaving splits, washouts, lots of 10 pins, and he has rough nights some nights. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes he needs to make a move left, and he rarely makes that move left. He just wants to throw it harder. So we are going to be, on this channel, we're always going to be talking about getting versatile, doing different things. And one of the things is this video, changing your ball speed and how to do that. I have to do that a lot, especially in these sport shot tournaments. You go from pair to pair. You're not bowling on the same pair, and you need to be in and around the same break point on every pair for the most part. I mean, you've got to have some place to start. And so if I throw my first shot and it overhooks, then I kind of move back and try to get a little bit more speed on it and see if that works first before I make any move left or right. I change the ball speed and see if that doesn't get it to look a little bit better. And if that doesn't work, then you got to start moving left or right or whatever you need to do to combat the pair. But I'm always changing ball speeds, and because I'm a low rev bowler, and I think that's obvious, and I have pretty decent ball speed, usually my move is make the ball go slower. And so that's my first go-to. Hey, Viking, what's up? Good evening. Glad you're here on the chat. You're one of the regulars. I appreciate you being here. TK is on the chat as well. If you want to ask her any questions, feel free to do that. She's been bowling these tournaments. She bowled Monday night. I guess it didn't go particularly well for her, and she is not one that likes short patterns, but she got a new ball last night, and she got a new black pearl urethane from Hammer. Got it drilled last night, and I think she really likes it. It's a 78. They're not letting her throw her pitch black, and she's got something where she just doesn't like her pitch black anymore. So now she's got a black pearl hammer. She seemed to like it last night, so she's going to work with it some. So I'm glad she's got it. Now I got to figure out how to pay for it. But anyway, Viking, okay, use the higher ball position to slow down in the 4th game. It worked speed-wise. Unfortunately, I still didn't carry. Well, I'm glad it worked, because it does sound wrong. I mean, I thought about it for 30 minutes with Susie. But when I got on the lane, she proved me that she was right. I was wrong. Sometimes you got to listen to the gold coach and go, all right, they may know what they're talking about, since they've been doing it for so many years. I hope to get to that level at some point in time. Been working to try, because that's a timing issue and how long you've been coaching. And so I'm currently working on that as well. Maybe someday I'll become a gold level coach. Not real sure what that means exactly, other than the fact you've been doing it a long time and you're pretty good at what you do. Yeah, carry. So if you're having problems with carry and you were able to get the speed down, it's probably the ball. I don't know. Depends on if you're on a house shot or a sport shot. House shots. Okay, I'll be honest on house shots. I'll take different equipment to the lane, nearly every night that I'm bowling. I don't take the same stuff all the time because I think I can, on a house shot, I can pretty much strike with anything. And so, if I want to work on symmetrical balls, bowling balls, I will take those to the lane along with a reactive ball. I mean, asymmetric ball, just in case it's just not working at all. And, I'll change hand positions to get them to go through the pins a little bit differently. Sport shots, it becomes ball speed, are the combinations of what you need to make sure that it gets through the pins correctly. So you can see that Viking, that was her last night. She was having a little trouble with ball speed and having trouble with carry. The long pattern has much buffaloed later in four, has him buffaloed later in 4 games. Yeah, Viking, I don't know. Again, I don't know how you throw it. If you're similar to me and have low rev rate and high ball speed or whatever, I have trouble with long oil patterns as well. The closer I have to get to the head pin when I'm actually rolling the ball, the harder it becomes for me to find a ball that is going to get on that 6-degree angle and go through the pins the right way. Because I don't have the ability for the ball to change directions fast enough. So I struggle with long patterns. Sport shot, 46 feet. Yep, so there's a rule of 31. That means your break point should have been around 14 or 15, somewhere around there, which puts you pretty much on the 3-pin. And so now if your break point is at 46 feet, you've got 14 feet for you to go from the 3-pin to splitting the 8-9. Big ball, a lot of surface, probably some slower ball speed, and rolling it instead of, well, you might have some success getting around it with some access rotation. I would probably try that first to make sure that my ball was actually hooking enough, fast enough. But, I'm going to start with, my Extreme Envy, which is a big ASIM. I'm going to put some surface on it, 500 or 1,000, and try to get it to about 15 at 46 feet, and probably a little side rotation just to see if I can get it to jump off the spot. Because it's probably going to go another foot to 2 feet before it actually slows down enough to actually hook. So that would have been my game plan. I will try the gutter first, just to see. Most of the time when they've got these long patterns, and if it's a PBA pattern or something like that, they're going to try to take the gutter out of play as much as they possibly can and make you play in the inside. And then as you get to the 4th game, you're moving left. And I would, by the 4th game, probably have gone to a pearl, move left, aim at the 3-pin, roll it slow, and probably get around it some. So much carry down lane. It killed the finish. Well, and I don't know who you're bowling with, you get a lot of, when you bowl these sport shot tournaments and you're bowling with people that don't mean to offend people, but don't exactly know what they're doing, they will cause some problems. And I think that's what happened to me last night when the ball just completely stopped hooking. Is we have so much volume in the front that it was picking up the volume in the front, depositing on the back, and a ton of carry down. And so the ball just really stopped hooking. There wasn't enough people playing urethane that it should have been that big of a deal, because I was way right of most of those people. But my ball stopped hooking, and it might have been my carry down that I was having trouble with. Probably was my carry down, but I was bowling with another guy that was like, they just stopped hooking. So it wasn't just me. I think some other people saw that too. So there is The misnomer is that reactive balls don't have carry down. Well, they do. Even the big ones, that there is no way for a cover to absorb that much oil that fast. So there is going to be some carry down as well. And then if you've got some high rev rate bowlers with a long pattern that might have some volume to it, they're splashing oil around. So, carry down does happen. You try to get right of it and slow it, just keep going slower and slower and slower. But hopefully you've got the right ball in your hands that you can get it to turn the corner at some point in time. We had another video that came out right after our live, it's called Oops, I'm Falling. And we're talking about falling off versus stepping off. I watch, bowling and league, you get to see kind of all kinds of different styles, and you've got some people that get up there and are on balance and post their shot really well, and then they step off. Again, in the video, I say that's perfectly okay. I do that sometimes myself. I'm 56 years old, so there's occasions when I'm fairly stable at the line when I'm rolling the ball, but I don't want to stay on my leg that long, and so I do step off occasionally. I try not to do that, but there is a difference between that and falling off, meaning as you're throwing the ball, you are already leaning one way or the other. And typically, if you're right-handed, they fall off to the right. If you are moving your body to the right as you're rolling the ball, you're falling off. And that is bad. If you have your head in line with your knee, which is in line with your toe for the most part, and you're sliding towards the foul line that way, making sure your chin is not in front of your knee, that it's kind of over the top of it or maybe even a touch behind it, you should be able to stay on balance long enough to deliver the ball before you have to step off. And if you are leaning one direction or the other as you're rolling the ball, then you're falling off. So I did this video as a precursor to a video we're going to have come out in probably a month and a half about timing. Typically people who fall off have got a timing issue. Now, we have a video coming out next Monday that is leading up to this other video about timing, about increasing your rev rate. Timing and rev rate kind of go hand in hand. And so, if you've noticed, if you watch my videos, they kind of build on each other. To get caught up to where we are today, you really need to go back and watch some of my earlier videos, which are not as good quality, but they just build on each other. So I talk about velocity, making sure that you can change your velocity, and then we start talking about falling off and good versus bad and making sure that your balance is in line. And then we're going to talk about rev rate, which is kind of the precursor to a timing video that I will be having come out, like I said, month and a half, something like that. And when you put all of those together, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're stable at the line, you're posting your shot, you're not falling off, you probably won't even have to step off. And you put those 3 or 4 videos together, and it's going to put you in a real good place to deliver the ball with good timing, with more rev rate, more accuracy. And so just bear with me. They just build on each other. And keep watching the videos. Stay to the end, because great information comes towards the end when I sum up what we've been working on during that video. So the video coming up on Monday, again, we've got 1 video for this week. Typically I do 2. I'm trying something a little different, and only producing 1 video a week for a couple of weeks coming up here. And then we'll see how that looks. The one about velocity is getting a lot of traction. A lot of people are watching it. So That part is looking good. I think 2 videos a week are nice, but I'm just not sure it's needed. So we've got over 100 videos out there right now, which is, I mean, quite impressive. And our numbers are climbing. A little shout out, a little excitement. We went over 10,000 subscribers this week. Very excited about that. I mean, I'm well behind some of the other channels that are a little more well established. But as far as an educational channel is concerned, 10,000 subscribers, I think, is large. I don't do a whole lot of entertainment videos, because I'm not that entertaining. So I enjoy the instruction part of it. And so there's fewer people that want to learn bowling than there are that want to watch bowling for fun. But I'm going to try to do it. I've got a couple of videos coming out in the next month, actually 3 weeks from now, which we have a challenge video where we've got sports shot versus house shot challenge. And then we've got a, plastic ball challenge where we bring a young 2-hander in and we bowl each other on a house shot and a sports shot with plastic. And I won't give you, no spoiler alerts here on how those go. Just remember what I did with the house ball, a few weeks ago in my house ball challenge where I shot 215 with a house ball. All right, so kind of gone through everything that I was going to go over today, the videos, the tournament last night, and the only other thing that's on my list is having fun while you're bowling. I had the video come out a week or so ago about I hate angry bowlers, and I kind of got on my soapbox a little bit about, I mean, getting out there and we're supposed to be having fun. And if you're not having fun while you're bowling, then what are you out there doing it for? I mean, you're spending money to go out and get mad. I mean, I don't understand that. I'm spending money to go out and have a good time. I realize that bowling well is more fun than bowling bad. I do both. I'm not immune to bowling bad. But I'm out there to have fun. I'm out there to have camaraderie, to talk to people, have a good time with people. Hard to do that when people are angry. So with that said, some of my shorts meaning, the videos that I produce in preview to a video coming up, they're little upright, stupid little tidbits of video that's coming out. You'll see me dancing. The point with that is I'm out here to have fun. And normally you don't see my dancing actually in the real video. You'll see me in these smaller, shorter videos dancing. I know it embarrasses my daughter to no end, but that's me. I like to have fun. If I make a good shot, I'm going to do something weird and wacky, even in league. I know we haven't shot many league videos that you can watch us in league, but if you were to watch what me and my team do, we try to have a good time. Even this summer, I'm not in an official league this summer. I've been doing some subbing on Thursday nights. I end up bowling beside my daughter some, and sometimes she and I will go and throw shots at the exact same time because we're right next to each other. That has been fun. I think she posts a few of those on her Instagram page or stuff like that. We had the first time we did it, we both struck. The next time we did it, she struck, I 7-10 split. And then last Thursday night, we did it again, and I struck, and she 10-pinned. And just to watch and listen to the bowlers around us who, I mean, we try to liven up the entire mood of the bowling center between my team that I've been subbing with and the team that Tori's actually bowling with. And I think we get everybody in the center to have a great time. And I think that's important because let's have fun. Bowling's supposed to be fun. I end all my videos is have fun and good bowling. Well, because if you're not having fun, what are you doing? Viking. My consolation is I did win all 4 games. Other than the splits, my spare game was better than my opponents. Did I do anything to help with that with my straight ball strategy? I mean, we had a pretty decent drill that we did throwing straight at your spares. I'm hoping that some of what I've been teaching as far as spare shooting is concerned is helping. Spares are important. So I'm bowling with a guy. He's a regional bowler last night. And he was struggling. He has a lot of rev rate and a lot of power, and he was just struggling on cheetah. I hope he's not watching this because he'll get mad at me. And he's a big dude too. He's a little scary. And he had a 197 game to my 181 game, and he didn't spare one time. He had no spares in that game. And I started laughing, and he's going, no, go ahead and laugh. It's funny. And I'm like, I told him, well, let's have a 200 game with no spares. Well, he starts with the front 3 spares. I'm like, well, you're ruining your reputation here by sparing. You strike a lot. It is hard to spare on cheetah, just to be fair. Cheetah is tough to spare on. I mean, I don't care what spare is up there. So I had trouble like last night with the 3-6-10 or some combination of 3-6, 3-6-10. Didn't have a 3-6-9-10 at all last night, but I was struggling with it because normally I would throw straight at that, but my spare ball was hooking. So I thought, well, heck, I'll just try to hook at it with my urethane ball, and then it wouldn't hook and chop the 6 off, or it hooked too much. And I spared it anyway, the hard way. And so, man, cheetah's just hard to spare on. I throw everything straight, just have struggles with left side spares for whatever reason. Yeah, I'm guessing you're right-handed. I mean, law of averages would say you're right-handed. I have trouble with left-hand spares too. And here's why. The reason I have trouble with left-hand spares is because normally on anything I'm bowling, I'm still throwing the ball to the right. On a house shot, you spend most of your time bellying the ball to the right. So everything you're throwing is to the right. Your 10 pins are to the right. Your 3-6 10s are to the right. So left-hand spares, now you have to change your thought process, because instead of throwing the ball to the right, you're now having to throw the ball across your body to the left. Here is one of the things I make sure I do in warm-ups is I do throw at least one 7-pin in warm-ups, because I want the feeling of having to throw the ball from right to left and getting my shoulders turned that way. Because if you don't square your shoulders up to the left, then you're always going to want to miss those spares to the right. If you're throwing it straight at those. Now, most of the time in league, people can hook at those and they'll be fine. I bowl so many sport events that I don't want to get in that habit, so I'm throwing straight at my left side spares. I don't care what it is. I'm going to throw straight at it. I throw straight at as many things as I possibly can, unless we've got double wood. We talk about that all the time. So when I'm throwing at my left-hand spares, one of the things I want to make sure that I'm doing is squaring my shoulder up to my target. When I throw it 10 pins, I try to walk straight and then throw the ball towards my 10-pin target. That is normal. That's what you normally do with a strike shot. That is a normal move for my body, is to throw the ball from left to right. It's abnormal for me to throw the ball from right to left. So we didn't talk about this in the drifting video, but here's the way I handle it is I start farther right than what I would think, and then I actually do walk towards my target. So I am walking right to left. That way my shoulders are pointed towards my target for a longer period of time. And that keeps me from throwing the ball, or tries to keep me from throwing the ball to the right, because my shoulders are already pointed the direction I want the ball to go. And to do that, you kind of have to walk towards it a little bit. Now, for me, it's maybe 2 or 3 boards, but at least I'm moving that direction, walking towards my target, and keeping my shoulders pointed to my target longer. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I think my 7-pin average is probably higher than, well, it's definitely lower than my 10-pin average, but I don't throw it as many 7-pins. I throw it a lot of 2-pins, a ton of 2-pins, and a few 4-pins, and those are usually I'm usually fairly accurate with those. But I do want to, the key for me is getting those shoulders lined up so that I am not throwing the ball to the right, I'm throwing it to the left. And if I don't get those shoulders pointed in that direction, I'm going to miss to the right every time. So I hope maybe that helps you a little bit. I mean, work on that, start a little further right than you normally would, walk towards your target, making sure you keep those shoulders pointed to that target a little bit longer, and that might help you with those left side spares if you're throwing straight at them. If you bowl sport shots and house shot, I recommend you throw straight at your left side spares, because you have no idea what is going on in the middle of the lane when you are on a sport shot. I'm sorry. My wife just texted me. I don't think she knows that I'm on live, but we only have about 6 or 7 minutes to go. And I will probably do some more spare videos coming up. We probably do need to do some spare videos of left side spares for right-handed people and right side spares for left-handed people, to kind of get that out there. So this was a good test for me to figure out how to do that video. If you have any videos that you want me to do, anything that you were working on, and need a little help with, make sure you, in one of the comments, I try to read all the first posts on any comment. So I may not get to the additional posts because they don't show up the way, they're a little harder to find for me. But in any video, if you want me to see a video, please let me know what you want me to make a video of. Now, I am going to, in these last few minutes, I am going to introduce something that we'll be talking about in videos to come, probably middle part of August. We'll introduce this, but you people here on the chat are going to get to hear it first. Most of the people that watch this live are coming in after the live, and we'll get 200 to 300 views on my lives, even though we just have a handful of people watching right now. But I'm going to introduce something to you that we're going to try. And here's it is. We've got memberships on the channel. You can get in some of the lower memberships to get early access to upcoming videos, and that's pretty much the only perk you've got. Maybe you can communicate with me personally and directly through the members only. But now we've got a higher level membership that will allow you to be able to send me a video of yourself bowling through icegear.shop. That'll cost the monthly membership, I believe, is 15, something like that. And again, you don't have to, you can stop that at any time, but you have to be the upper level member, because you'll get you'll have access to my video responding to any video you upload, and you will get direct and personal coaching from me. So you have to be the highest level member, and then you can go to icegear.shop and load your video, and there's some explanations in there of what I need to see. But basically, I need one from behind, one at a 45-degree angle, and one at a 90-degree angle from your approach. I will analyze that and give you some feedback on the things that you should be working on. And I'll try to give that in such a way that it's little things that you can work on over the course of a month or so in practice. So we're offering now some personal coaching. We're going to see how this works. I think it's $100 for me to analyze your video. You need to give me 2 or 3 or 4 days to be able to respond to that. And then once you've gotten that, you can cut off your higher level membership, so you're not paying for that every month. And but we're going to see how, because I've got several people that want to do some personal coaching with me. Got a few guys that want to travel up here and do some on-lane stuff. But I think if you just want a little help and need to see what I think you need to be improving on, highest level membership, and go to icegear.shop and you can load your video, and then I will post that back on the YouTube channel in the members only section, where other members will be able to see it, but they would have to be the upper level membership to be able to see your video. And I don't expect a ton of people to be there. So that's introduced today. We'll be talking about that more in a video later. So you guys watching the chat will have first access to that if you want to participate. I'm looking forward to this. I'm thinking it's going to be fun. It may spur on some videos that I will be able to make in the future. So yeah, that's the big announcement for today. Another couple of minutes and then we'll be getting off. We're about an hour into this deal. If anybody has any last minute questions, comments, statements, I do want to tell everybody that I am so proud of this channel. Who knew? I was just doing this to help some older bowlers because I'm trying to figure things out just like they are, and been having a good time coaching. I love coaching and teaching, and so this was just a way for me to do that in a more structured environment. And so I love the way the channel's going. I love you guys being here on the channel and being on the live and asking me questions and saying, giving me comments. It's just been a whole lot of fun for me. And so thank you very much. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe our videos. It helps get the word out. Obviously, people have been doing that because we're actually close to 11,000 subscribers. And I didn't think that I would get to that point by the end of this year, and we're already there. So now let's go for 15,000. I think that would be an amazing turnout before the end of the year. Even share my videos, like, subscribe, hit the bell with notifications, and we really do appreciate all of you guys. And it sounds like from the comments that I'm getting is I'm helping some people, which is superb. So anyway, if there's no other comments, questions, we're going to sign off, I guess, for this live. I did it in just about an hour, which is great. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. I will be getting out on the lanes this week and shooting some more videos, but we got more videos to come. So I want you guys to get out there, have fun, and good bowling.